Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad you stopped by. We're with a dude who has a really cool name, Massimo. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream. So we're going to talk marketing, personal branding, and ways to, I guess, get small business owners to become huge Google-like companies, right?
That's right.
All right. Tell me a little bit about your personal brand and your journey and all that good stuff so we can put in context and know how studly you are.
Yeah, no, I mean, it all started back. I started a marketing company back in 2019, and it was really based off of the idea that, you can utilize Instagram to grow your business, get more leads, get more clients, and really just build a brand around yourself. I used to always say, like, you go to a networking event, people hand out business cards. The only problem with handing out business cards is, people see the name, they see the logo, but they don't really know too much about you versus handing out like your Instagram, for an example. You're able to tell so much more about the person. And a lot of times now, especially nowadays, people use your social media accounts as a reference point. So it's, bringing who you are offline and putting that online. At the end of the day, it's a game of perception.
Yep. And I think that's funny you say perception. We, as you probably know, we at vastsolutionsgroup.com, a lot of our clients are small business owners. Pretty much all of them are entrepreneurs, and that they're usually solopreneurs from all over the country. 93% of them are also real estate investors. Again, in pretty much every state. Plus, we have some offices in the UK, and we have one guy over in Germany right now. But anyway, so there, some of our clients. So, and I know a lot of our clients and listeners and viewers want to build their personal brand. I can pretty much promise you that. So let's say someone who's brand new, they just opened up a widget shop. What's some of the things they should think about with respect to personal branding?
So yeah, well, when you build a personal brand, a lot of it is going to be based off of two types of content, right? Because the basis for everything is putting out content about yourself and exactly how you help people, or about your product or service. So the best way to put it is you want to build a brand around value, right? So in the case of a widget shop, or even just a small business owner that provides a service, right? You want to give value. So instead of promote your product or service, you want to give value to maybe how the product helps people, maybe answering common questions that many people would have, and really just building a brand around those things. Because at the end of the day, you can start a business page on Instagram, you can start a business page on social media, but at the end of the day, people go on social media to keep up with other people. So as much as you're also, providing value, you also want to create content around yourself, because at every company, there's always someone behind it. There's a face. So it's showcasing those things. And even as an entrepreneur, other entrepreneurs will resonate with you if you show what the day-to-day looks like. If you show your accolades and people that you're connecting with and building relationships with, those are all things that people want to, see and keep up with.
Yeah, I get it. So then, and I think your company is called Tan Social, if I remember correctly. So what are you doing to get that name out there, as far as, because no, let's back up, because sometimes it's the question of me personally or my company. It looks like Tan Social. I looked at the website, looked at a couple social media elements, and it looks like you're getting the company out there and you're kind of behind the curtain, if you will. So why are you going down that road versus pushing yourself?
So actually, it's actually quite opposite. So a lot of the sales and marketing is all ran through my personal brand. So if you were to do your due diligence on like our website and like, kind of some of our history with like the company, like you'll find some things, but at the forefront of it all, I'm probably going to be the most omnipresent. So like we don't spend money on any advertising or anything like that, because all I do all day is other dentists, and just build relationships, build referral sources, go on stage, go to events, and just network. And everything leads back to me, which then leads back to the company.
But I didn't see your, I don't even know if I saw your name on the website. Maybe it did, but it was, I guess what I'm saying is, you know how some dudes, like, they're out there pushing, like whatever.
Yep.
Tony Robbins, he pushes himself. He doesn't care about his company, if you will. You know what I mean? That's what that, I guess I'm looking at that as an analogy for my point.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean, it's all predicated around the basis of building a personal brand rather than building up the company brand.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of like people will know my name more than they'll know Tan Social, if that makes sense. So they're kind of like separate, they're together, but at the same time, like people will know Tan Social, they'll know me.
I understand. So what you're saying is, as an example, look, so we have about 2,000 real estate agents. So what you're saying is it makes sense for them to be out there, have their face out there versus the company for which they work, or even their own little company. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get you. I get it. I'm going to throw this out. Let's play a little good cop, bad cop. So I was talking to a dude, actually he was a lawyer, about 20 something years ago. Just after I joined this company. And basically what he was saying is, don't use your personal brand. By the way, he's a lawyer. I know they're restrictive. Let's remember that.
Yeah.
Don't use personal brand because you just never know what's going to happen with you personally versus your company. Your company is always going to be there. That was his position. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so the way I always like to approach this is like you always want to lead with your personal brand, because at the end of the day, whether you have one company, whether you decide to go into a completely different industry, one thing that will always stay with you is your credibility and your brand. See, if you just if you spend all your time building up, you know, a company page or like a company social media page, people will only know that. Versus if you build up your personal brand, you can go in so many different directions. I'll tell you, I started out helping business owners, and then I ended up niching down into dentistry. But I brought that credibility with me over the years, because instead of building up a company name and a company brand, I ended up building a brand around myself.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, that makes sense. So by the way, I should also let the listeners and viewers know we're going to be talking about 15 more minutes. We're going to be talking about personal branding. My name is Kenneth French. I'm with VastSolutionsGroup.com. We're talking here, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. So let's go into a little dentistry, because we used to market a lot to dentistry. We used to have a lot of dentist clients back in the day. Now we've kind of shifted a little bit more and taken on some media clients and also some real estate investors. So why dentists? Like, was that an interesting market? Should other people niche down, as you said, as an example, in their personal branding?
Yeah, I think when the company was at a point where like we were just helping everyone and their mom with marketing in terms of just different industries, between real estate to insurance to small business owners to other bigger entrepreneurs. And we just kind of decided, okay, like where can we kind of put our roots down and become, you know, kind of the most known? Because at the end of the day, like when you're doing marketing for so many different industries, you almost have to learn what works in each industry, the language, the offers, the products, the services, everything like that. So we decided, okay, like we had a couple of, you know, dental clients that got some really, really good results from just the little things that we did. So we're like, okay, like why don't we double down on this? Another reason too, what's cool about dentists is they all know each other. Everyone, they're all friends. They're all mutually connected somehow. You tend to find out it's such a small world between the continued education, between, you know, them going to school together, between them being in groups. So for us, it was kind of like a power play of like, okay, if we can get like 3 to 5 people to just like completely blow up and use them as reference points, I can go to any other dentist and be like, hey, look what we did for this dentist, and look what we did for all their friends. And for us, that was kind of like our, I guess, organic marketing strategy, where it's like, okay, like let me also as well, like a lot of these dentists and dental practices, like they all have consultants, they all have, you know, coaches, they all have someone that runs their books. What if instead of going directly to dentists, what if we went to those people, build a strategic partnership, and then influence their clients to then come to us? And so that's where we found a lot of success in it. And
yeah. I totally hear you there. That's cool, actually, because some people say don't niche down. Some people do, but in your circumstance, it worked. But at the same time, it sounds like you're branching out at least a little bit into some other industries as well. And why now?
I just, I love testing. That's the whole reason I got into marketing, and really all marketing is testing. So, yeah, no, it's just a matter of testing. I like to test different things. I like to do, out of pocket crazy stuff with, ads, ad creatives, just to see what works, because those are the things that will really make the biggest difference rather than cookie cutter marketing. So I like to go to different industries, test, find people that are crazy enough to test my ideas, and, kind of run with it. So
Yeah, I totally get that. So do you testing? I didn't realize until just recently how big of a deal testing was. Because I mean, if something's working for you, you never know. Some people think, I'm going to test this thing, and if it ain't broke, why do it? But then again, who knows? Maybe you can, instead of making $1, you can make $2 per widget based on your marketing or something like that. You just never know. I think it makes a lot of sense to test things much more than I ever expected.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, that's really like what marketing is. It's a big game of testing. Like with any big ad campaigns I've ever run, it's been, the first, 90 days, like this is our test flight. This is where we're gonna test the audiences, we're gonna test the different ad creatives, and we're gonna see what the landscape looks like, what the feedback is. Because although you could go to these marketing companies and they could tell you, oh, I could get you this amount of leads, I could get you this many clients, and blah blah blah. Like no one really knows until they actually do it.
That is so totally.
It's just a big game of testing at the end of the day.
It really is. I know. So then, all right. So do you do websites and website design or no?
No. More specifically, where we really help people is creating high quality and engaging content to then further build a person's social presence and then run ads. The biggest success that I found with, just gaining a lot of dentists and gaining like a big audience, when I set up my personal brand, I created content around dentists and solving their problems with social media. So, how to make your content go viral, how to get more patients. And that's all I put on my page in terms of content. And then what I did was I drove dentists to my page and then reached out to them and said, hey, have you ever considered doing this? And then from there, it kind of explained itself. But yeah.
All right, give me an example, like where it's totally worked out. You brought, there was a starving dentist. All of a sudden, you brought in all the billions of dollars, and all of a sudden he's a billionaire. So, give me an example, one case study, if you will, so we could put it in perspective for some of the viewers and listeners out there.
Yeah, so this wonderful woman we started working with about 2 years ago. Her name's Dr. Daniela Eversgerd. So she came to me because she wanted to become the known dentist in her area for, cosmetic procedures, which is like, the veneers, the higher ticket procedures. And the biggest thing that we did with her was we created content around these, these higher ticket cases like veneers. So, what are some common questions about veneers? What type of people would get veneers? And we just started creating all this content. And then we started running ads for these procedures. So what happened over time was her content started to go viral. She started to amass a huge audience of people that wanted to know about these procedures, to the point where then, someone from the New York Times reached out to her. They did an interview with her. And then that led to being on the Today Show nationwide.
No, serious? Nice
Yeah.
work. Oh, dude, that's a big one, man. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. And what's crazy is though, because a lot of people, when they do and start this type of marketing with like organic content and running ads, they expect a result so soon. But when you're building a personal brand and you're putting content out there, you're doing it for the long-term effect of branding. So the first maybe year that we worked with her, she got some patients, she got some, cases, but she wasn't really like blowing up. And it wasn't until the second year where her content randomly just started to go viral and started to amass a huge amount of views and people just inquiring and whatnot. And eventually it took, and just kind of how we spoke before, it took one person to reach out to her and say, oh my God, like I love this content, like can I interview you? And then once you get that, from there it kind of just, opportunities just flood in. But the basis of it all was she was omnipresent, and she was putting out content, not so much promoting herself and her services, but adding value, talking about these common issues and misconceptions and debunking myths and just giving value to people. Because at the end of the day, like you have to give a reason for someone to follow you. And so that's exactly what she did.
And, it's funny, like I'll tell you my journey as far as social media goes. For years, I did not want to go about. This is going to be weird. I'm a weird guy, by the way, Massimo. I
Love
did
that.
not want to go above 100 friends on Facebook. Well, I don't know why. I was not social. That's just not my gig. And then all of a sudden, just before COVID, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm going to be passing off this company to some younger kid. They're going to want to do social media. They're going to want to have systems. So I said, okay, we're going to start doing content. We're going to start, being out there as far as social media goes. And it totally has expanded our business. Now, it's amazing that now looking back, like I was a complete idiot and not doing any marketing. It's the only way to go. But I would say the biggest thing that I have seen where there's been value based on social media, et cetera, is by producing content on a daily basis for whatever it is. And I think it's really, really important. And then who knows, just maybe you're going to have a pop, and who knows, maybe you're going to be on the Today Show as a result. But I think, to me, that's really, really important, is just to get the content out there and be consistent. And I think with someone like you have a higher likelihood of making sure someone's doing content every day, but also making sure that someone could do a little bit better in their content, therefore have that much better of an opportunity of being seen and then popping as far as going, viral or whatever.
I mean, I honestly, I got it down to a T in terms of making value-driven content go viral.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give you like a little context to it, I mean, all it really takes is, you got to make videos that are under 30 seconds, and you have to have three things. You need to have a clear hook, something. A lot of times I like to say, use an if-then statement. If you're someone that's wondering blah, 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 then blah, blah, blah. Then you address some type of pain point, right? And then you go into the takeaway. I'd say that's the biggest thing, is the takeaway. I'm sure you know who Alex Hormozy and people of that nature are. So what was very interesting with Alex Hormozy and his come up to, going viral, was a lot of his content was just straight, direct, just value, where you can watch one of his videos and take, some type of action step afterwards that will produce a result. So it's a very similar concept with the information that you're putting out there in terms of content. You just need to deliver it in a certain way. So when you plug it into a formula like that, because one thing you should never do, you shouldn't record videos that are 2 minutes long. You shouldn't introduce yourself and, waste the first 4 seconds, because the first 4 seconds are probably the most important part. That's going to be the make it or break it from people watching the whole video. And how the algorithm works now is it's based on watch time. So if you make a 1 minute long video and people only watch 10 seconds of that video, you don't have a lot of watch time. Instagram isn't going to push it out to people. Now, if you make a 20-second video and people watch 10 seconds of it, you have more than 50% retention rate. So Instagram is going to put that out there as, okay, people are enjoying, engaging with this content. We're going to show it to more people. And
sorry, keep going. That's huge what you just said.
No, yeah, and above all that, I mean, the biggest thing too is like, use your social media as kind of like a blueprint. Like when you go to make content, I always say you want to make batch content. So you don't want to spend a whole lot of time like each week, oh, what am I going to make tomorrow for a piece of content? Like what I would do is I would take one day out of the month, break down your services or whatever you can really add value or speak on, and break those into subtopics, like, 3 things you should consider before doing this. Here's how to solve this problem. Here's a solution for this. And you make a bunch of these topics. You spend one day to record it all, and then you release it, I'd say about 3 to 4 times a week. And what you'll see is after a month or two, you'll get to see, how good that these videos do, because you'll look at the feedback. You'll look at how much likes you got, how much comments, how many views, and this will be your roadmap to what type of content you need to start making. Because if you know that, okay, if I did a video about, how to make content go viral, and that video got, 10,000 views versus my other videos talking about running ads that only got 500 views. Okay, now I know the next batch of content I make is going to be strictly on, making viral content. Right. And so you use that as a guideline. And what you'll start to see is, like, over time, even if you have one video that goes viral, that will literally bring a whole entire audience and more eyes on all the rest of your videos. So now over time, now all these other videos are starting to go viral, and then it's just this chain reaction that keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. So,
Yeah, that totally makes sense, because all you need is one. It's like a snowball, it just grows, grows, grows. So, all right, how does someone get a hold of you?
I mean, I usually Instagram. That's where I'm most present. That's where most people find me, and that's where I do a lot of my business is Instagram.
Which is, what's your Instagram handle?
It's just my name. It's MASSIMO underscore DIDOMENICO.
That's gonna be real easy for
That's gonna
people.
be a tough one. Yeah.
All right. So, what's okay? What's one thing we've talked about or have not talked about that you think the viewers and listeners out there should see or hear that can add value to them? Again, let's assume they're a small business owner, dentist, real estate agent, and they want to take it to the next level. What do you suggest?
Honestly, if I had to start over again and I had to start a brand new account and I was trying to get business, I would say the biggest thing is I would look at 3 or 4 other people that are doing something either similar to you or similar within the industry. Look at those 3 people, look at the type of content that they make. And you don't have to, reinvent the wheel here, but just take those ideas and put your own spin to it. I mean, that's probably going to be the easiest and fastest way. And honestly, the hardest thing is just starting. Most people they're so afraid of either what other people will think or
Yeah.
just getting no views, no engagement. But like the biggest thing is just starting. So
That is starting and being consistent. I know we have, I'm embarrassed to say, we have a lot of people who are in our database, number one. Number two, and at the same time, who are, subscribers or whatever to all our social media, but we don't get very much engagement. So, which is embarrassing, by the way. But at the same time, I know that down the road it's going to catch on and something's going to go viral. I just know that. And if not, whatever, that means I'm an idiot, by the way. But also, before signing off, so what about engagement? Are you one of those guys who's always by the computer? Do you have an AI dude or bot there sitting there by, all your social media things for your clients? How does that work?
yeah, no, I'm pretty much I live on Instagram. So that's like my day to day. I'm always on Instagram. That's how I, conduct my business. So I'm always responding to comments. I'm always sending out my own messages. A lot of people like to have chatbots. They like to have, social media managers. I'm just a big proponent on doing it yourself, but doing it in the most efficient way possible, because you shouldn't be spending hours upon hours on social media every week, posting, messaging people and whatnot. Like there's ways to make it efficient. I'd say in terms of like increasing your engagement, a lot of it comes from how engaging your content is. Honestly, like there's no special hack of, well, send your post to 10 people, post it here, do this at this time. A lot of it comes from just the quality of video. And honestly, it's not that hard to really increase the quality of your videos. Have good lighting. If you have, subpar of an iPhone that shoots at 4K, I mean, you don't need a whole camera crew to make really good content. It's just the delivery.
Yeah, but our content is, I'm not trying to make this as a help me thing, but
Yeah, totally.
why not? Whatever. It's we make it more educational, but the same, we don't really have hooks per se, and we don't have any hot girl. No, just kidding. By the way, I shouldn't have probably said that. I'm probably gonna get sued or something for that. Meaning, because I'm not hot. I'm not a hot girl. I'm the one who does our videos, right?
Yeah.
It's informational. So let's say we do a lot of, 401k plans. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a government sponsored plan for, employers to help employees, generally speaking. And what we'll do is we'll do a full, let's say, hour video as an example and cut it up. But, it's how to start a 401k, how to maintain one, and how to close one. And I don't think it's really engaging per se, but then again, I look at it as informational. And if we're doing those type of videos anyway, why not put them on social media? So I don't know if we're ever going to be kind of the one to, increase engagement per se, because our videos are like that. Does that make sense? I'm not even sure why I'm telling you that. But
No, totally. And that's the belief that a lot of people have because at one point that style of content did very well, where you can take an hour long call it episode or just like
Yeah.
film session and cut it up into clips and it just be the highlight of the conversation. I think the biggest thing now, since everything's so fast paced with scrolling and people's attention spans, is just condensing and concising these topics down. So like you said, what is a 401k and all that stuff. Like I would condense and concise that and make it as if you're trying to teach it to a fifth grader. Because at the pace that social media is going and people's attention, like that's how people consume information. Because it's the information's valuable. It's just the way you deliver it to make it consumable to consumers.
Yeah, what I think we're going to start doing is, it's kind of in line with that, like doing top 5 lists, as they call them. And so, like, instead of doing an hour thing, maybe do an hour thing, but also doing a blurb, like an overview, top 5 ways to whatever, start a 401k or whatever, So, because I don't have the attention span to watching our stuff. I really do think it's cool. I know it's cool. It's very helpful, right? Someone could do all their own stuff based on the content we put out there. But at the same time, I have a short attention span, really short attention span. So like sitting and watching a full, 15-minute video even is a lot of work for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's how it is now. People don't stay on a video for more than 10, 20 seconds on average. So
yeah, it's crazy. I know.
You
Even
have like
TikTok's too long for me.
yeah, you have this short window to capture someone's attention.
Yeah. Wow, we've gone over a lot and we've jumped all over the place. So once again, how does someone get a hold of you?
Instagram would be the best place.
And can you spell your name? Good luck on that, by the way, for everyone out there. How do you spell it?
Yeah, it's MASSIMO_DIDOMENICO.
And you're guaranteed to make you are guaranteeing the next Google from someone who's a small time dentist, right?
I think it's very possible. I'm not guaranteeing it, but if you can implement all these steps, I don't see why you can't.
I like it. Yeah, that's a good story. That dentist you were talking about, doing the veneers, etc. That's a pretty good story. I like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, guys. Hey, this is Kenneth French. Obviously, I work for VastSolutionsGroup.com. I'm with Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. So glad you guys have spent the time. Hopefully, in some way, you've picked up something that can help enhance your business and make you into the next Google or whatever. Anyway, thanks, guys.